Hey, welcome to another lettering session tonight. We're going to be lettering a wooden sign, and my name is Krystal Witten. Before I get going, I wanted to tell you, if you love these templates that we're using tonight and you want to try downloading one for free on your own to see how to do it yourself, you can use the technique like we're doing tonight, and you can download this template for free. It says, "He has good plans for me." If you're on YouTube, you can comment "good plans." And if you're on YouTube, you can check the description, link in the description for that. So that is my little gift to you, to try a template and see if you like what we're doing by trying it on your own. So we are doing a sign tonight, a wooden sign. And I'm excited because this is going to be a simple project. It's not going to take a whole lot of time. I'm going to show you how quickly and easily you can do something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my other camera on and get going with you. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Donna. Hey, Glinda. Good to see y'all tonight. Let's see. Where's my camera? There we are. We're switched up though. So here we go. How's your evening going? I feel like it's been forever since I've been on here, and I was trying to think back. What was even the last project I did? I think it was right before the 4th of July, and we did the sign in my kitchen. So it's good to be back. And this summer has just been kicking my tail as far as the schedule goes. We've just had busy days. You think that the summer might be a little bit less busy, and I guess the daytimes have been a little bit, but my kids have had lots of social engagements. So I have been their chauffeur, taking them everywhere and taking them to their practices and their hangouts and all the things. So it has definitely inhibited my time to get on here and create with y'all. So I was glad that I had a little opening tonight and I could get on here and do this design, because I've been dying to do this design all month long. This is one of the templates that dropped at the beginning of July. And honestly, I thought that I might do a Christmas in July project, but I'm not feeling the Christmas spirit right now. I'm just not. It is too hot, and I just am not in the mood for Christmas yet. I thought that I would be, but anyway, so we are going to do this one. I love this hymn. It is timeless and beautiful and full of hope and faith and strength. And so this is the project. So I have this 12-inch wooden round, and this, I believe, was from Hobby Lobby. It's a little bit thicker, which makes me think it was not from the dollar store, because the dollar store rounds are thinner than this, but it is 12 inches, and it's got the nice distressed kind of rustic, shabby chic look on the front. So that's what we're going to go with tonight, because I think it would be nice to hang this somewhere in my house, and I like this kind of rustic look. So the back is just like a natural wood, brown wood. And so at some point we could do something else on this and have a double-sided sign, so we can multi-purpose it later on. So I did have to blow up the template a little bit, because at the normal size, I didn't bring it up here, but at the normal size, it was just a little bit small for the round. It would have fit in there fine, but I knew that I would like it better if I made it bigger. So I blew it up to 125%, and it put it on 2 pieces of paper. So you can see the tape there. I think I used some clear packing tape, but I just trimmed off one side, taped them together, matched them up, I've got a whole training on how to do this, super easy, inside the Scripted Faith Collective, so that you can resize things for your projects too really easily. So I can kind of see the sign underneath it, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm in the middle. And then also I'm going to pay attention to the hanger at the top to make sure that it is, centered and I'm straight, because nothing would be worse than getting finished and looking at it and realizing that it's cockeyed. That would be disappointing, especially because the hanger has the holes in there, pre-drilled holes. That would be really unfortunate. So I've got a little piece of painter's tape here. I'm going to tape that down. And then I've got my graphite paper over here that I am using. So remember, with graphite paper, you're always going to take the darker shiny side and it's going to go down, because that's the part that's coated that is going to transfer the design. I'm just using a piece of graphite paper that's been used previously, and I'm going to slide that up under there. And this design is, I think for the most part, it's going to do everything. You're going to want to make sure that your graphite paper is underneath the part that you're going to be tracing. So I'm going to just like push it all the way up to the top. And then when I come down to the bottom, I'm going to have to try and remember to move it, because that's, I've done that before where I have forgotten to move it, and then you've kind of wasted your time and you have to go back, or you've pulled it off and it's really hard to rematch it. I think I did that the last time I was live, actually. The sign in my kitchen, I forgot to move it down, and then I had to kind of eyeball some things. So, hey, Teresa. Hey, Ash. Hey, Doris. Good to see y'all. Thanks for making it. I know that my schedule has been so inconsistent lately, but I'm glad that y'all could find me and be here tonight whenever I could get on. So I cannot use this yet. Here I am shaking it. I'm ready to go, and I need to trace it first. So I've just got a pencil tonight. Sometimes I have a little stylus, that I use, but it doesn't matter. Just as long as it's not going to break, like a mechanical pencil or something where the lead might break, because you do want to apply, a little bit of pressure to it. So I'm gonna just start here with my E. And I am gonna kind of do an outline, because I want it to have all the thick and the thins where they are in the design. Sometimes you can get away with just going straight through the middle of a letter and not having to outline the whole thing in its entirety. And then you can eyeball where to put your thick and thins. But with this one, everything is just nested so nicely, and I don't want to do a lot of guessing. All right, now before I get too far, I do want to check it and make sure that it's transferring correctly, because again, it would be just a shame to do the whole entire thing and take all that time, and then you realize like, oh, I wasn't pressing hard enough or something was wrong with it. So you can see there that it is starting to transfer, and you'll want to check that periodically to make sure that you've actually traced all the lines. That actually happened to me in our most recent workshop. If you were there, I forgot to trace part of a letter. It was a flourish or something, and I did not realize that I had missed it. And I went through the whole tracing process, and then I'm trying to think, we came back the next day because it was a 2-night workshop. We came back the next day and somebody said, did you mean to leave off the flourish on the letter, whatever it was? And I'm not looking at the design right now, so I can't remember exactly what it was. But I was like, no, I did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. And it didn't even occur. Like, I didn't even notice. It was the whole next day and I had looked at it and had not even noticed. So it looked fine without it, but I did go ahead and eyeball it and added it in. So anyway, it's funny when that happens. But if it's real bad, you'll be kicking yourself. It's like, man, now what? So check it often would be my suggestion. So, hey, Teresa. So the round is from Hobby Lobby, and it's a little bit thicker than the ones that you get at the dollar store. And it is size 12 inches. I did measure it because I made the template a little bit bigger. I blew the template up to 125%. And so it printed it out on 2 pieces of paper. And then I just trimmed down the one side. I just cut it off and then matched them up and taped it together. Took me just a couple of minutes to do that. And I felt like it was a good size. So at the normal 8.5 by 11, it just kind of felt puny on there because I printed it out normally, like the normal size first. And I just felt like, well, maybe I could add more of these flowers or things, but it looked too puny. So now if you had an 8-inch, trying to think, an 8-inch round, then it might be a little bit better. It might have worked better. Hey, Sherry, no worries. Listen, you pop in whenever you can. Come back and watch it later with the replay. It will be here.
If you say so.
And, oh, no. Siri thought I was talking to him. He's like, if you say something. No, I'm not talking to you. All right, let me check it. It looks good. I missed this bottom part of the eye. And see that I'm prone to that a lot because I'm talking to y'all while I'm doing this. And so it's really easy for me to miss things. And I can't remember what I was saying about watching later, but I like watching things later because I like to put people on double time. I like sometimes when I watch myself back, I think, oh, I talk kind of slow, but I like to put things on 1.5 speed and listen while I do chores and things, because then I think whenever I listen to people talking faster, it makes me move faster. I don't know, like work faster or whatever. But I'm always glad when y'all are here and you'll talk to me. That makes it more interesting than me just sitting here talking to myself. But anyway, this template this month was a request, and I was so happy to do it. So I was able to do several requests this month. So we'll have to do some more of these later on. Some more projects. I don't feel like I've gotten very many projects in the month of July. So I got we gotta, I don't know, do some catching up. I remember what I was going to say before my watch interrupted me. I was going to say that you can always catch replays on my YouTube channel. I am posting everything over there on YouTube now because Facebook has decided to delete our videos. And if you go in the live tab on Facebook, I think you'll only see like 3 videos there because they get deleted after 30 days. So I have everything up on my YouTube, at least from this year. There is some older stuff up there too, but go follow me on YouTube. It's at Krystal Witten Studio. I have the studio in my name over there, but then you'll be able to see, and if you click on the live tab, I don't know why it separates them, but I have like normal videos that have been uploaded. And then there are the live videos, like what we're doing right now, which show up in the live tab. And so that's where you're going to see the most consistency of me doing projects and things there. And you can bookmark those or save them or whatnot on YouTube to come back if you decide like, oh, I want to do that project. I'm going to save the video and come back to, watch it while I'm doing it. Everything will be right there for you. So all right. This design was a lot of fun to make. I like how it's kind of circular, but not like a perfect circle. It's just, it's got like its own nice little shape to it, which is different from a lot of the other designs. So I thought it was perfect for a round surface. So can y'all see that? Thank you, Doris. Thank you. So now let's trace all of our little flourishes and leaves and flowers and the little embellishments that we have. And I thought about painting these. And I think for tonight, I'm going to leave them black and white and see if I like that. I always love to add color, but there is something really classic about just black and white. So we're going to leave them as is. And then if I decide to change it up, I'll let you know. But I said at the beginning that I wanted to do this as a simple project to give you an idea of something that you could work on. So easy to go grab a round wooden sign from a craft store or the dollar store. And then you just need so few tools. You need the tracer. Let me make sure that yep, see, I forgot to move it up. I was right there. Let me go before I move it. I'm going to go over on this side and do the bottom over here. But you only need the tracer from the collective, and then you need the surface. And then you just need the graphite paper and the paint pen. So, and if you buy a whole pack of graphite paper, you'll have it forever because it lasts forever and you can reuse it over and over and over. These little flowers are fun. I have a little video on my YouTube channel too from forever ago. I'd say like 2016 maybe. It was I never intended to like have a YouTube channel. I never intended to, post videos all the time. But I started a YouTube channel to go along with my blog because I had a blog and I would post videos on how to do lettering things. And sometimes I was like, well, I want to do a video to show how to do that. And so then I would make a quick little video. It has like, I don't even think it has music or editing or anything, but it just shows me like how to draw a flower, how to draw a banner, how to draw, I don't know, it's like how to draw several different things. These like quick little videos. And so you'll see the roses on there from like way, way back when I was just really first learning how to do everything. So, okay, I was going to shift that. Hey, Monique, good to have you here tonight. Thank you so much. So yeah, it is funny looking back at the old things that we do, you know, when you first start something and you're not really good, but you feel so confident in it and you're like, man, this is awesome. And then like down the road, you look at it and you cringe and you think, oh my goodness, that was terrible. Why didn't anybody tell me that was terrible? But still, those flowers that I drew back then are still the way that I do flowers now a lot of times. And so that technique has stuck around for sure. But it's so simple. It's just a little spiral, and then you get bigger as you come out, and then you draw the petals really just kind of whatever shape you want to make them. I did a little bit more of a spiral back then. Like it was a tighter, more of a rose type look. Okay. I think this was the last one. The last little thing. Let me check it. It looks like everything is good there. And then let's check this side. Okay. Yes. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull it off. Now remember, once you pull off your tape, it is very hard to rematch where it is. So be really sure that you're good with how it looks before you pull it off, because getting it back in the exact same spot is nearly impossible. And it's a lot easier to eyeball it at that point. So, all right, I'm going to pull it away. Hopefully you can see that. And it's pretty. I can already tell I'm going to be tempted to add color to the flowers. All right. Hey, Marisa. How are you doing tonight? She asks, are you going to use, let me put it up for anybody watching on YouTube. Are you going to use a Posca fine point, medium point, or large pointed? That is a really good question. So perfect timing for that too, because I was just getting this out. This is called the fine point, which makes it sound like it's the smallest one, but it's not. There's actually one even smaller than this. But when you're looking for them, you will look at this right here. It says 3M. So what I've seen as far as like the most that I see at the store is the 5M, which is your medium. And there may be a larger one, but I've never used it. So the 3M is the fine. And then there's an even smaller one that's the extra fine, I believe, if I'm saying that correctly. So you can see the tip there is not as big as some of the other ones. So, and I looked at the design and I thought, okay, for some of these sections, I could get away with doing the bigger medium tip, but I have enough of the thin lines that might still be okay, but I like to be able to control that a little bit better. But then all of these thin little embellishments would not look good with the big medium tip. So you could pull out something else. Like if you don't have a fine tipped Posca, you could use a brand new Sharpie. When a Sharpie has its fine tip on the end before you use it too much and it gets kind of dulled, you could use that, or some other kind of black permanent marker. If you don't have a fine tip Posca pen, it doesn't have to be a Posca too. It could just be any kind of permanent pen or paint pen. So let's see. Teresa says, I want to paint the florals on mine. I was going to go back to the first workshop and see how we painted those. And she's talking about the 'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus workshop that we did. So happy we can go back to the Script of Faith Collective and review previous skills. Yes. Thank you so much, Teresa. You are right. We can go back, because what she means is that you can go back and watch the past workshops to remind yourself, or if you missed them, you can go and you can get those lessons and enjoy those projects, even if you didn't get to do it in real time. So we painted, actually, I can show it to you right here. This is what she's talking about. We painted these banners and we did the flowers and we painted them like real pretty. Isn't that pretty? So the coloring is a little bit off with my camera, but we did some shading in there and everything. So it was really fun. But all right, tonight we're just painting. We're just doing our paint pen. We're keeping it simple. We've got a lot to do. Like we got a lot to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get to it. But let's start with our E, which comes way out over here, and just trace that. I did not warm up my hand necessarily. So I think the tracing part kind of got my shakes and wiggles out just a little bit so that my hand is nicely warmed up from that. But the nice thing about this sign is it feels very smooth. So it's, I think it's going to be easy to go over this. Sometimes if you have a rougher surface, you'll feel that bumpiness and, your hand may shake a little bit. But this is pretty smooth. So you're just going to follow your lines around. And I'm kind of looking on the inside too. So, one thing whenever you trace, sometimes it can end up looking thicker than what it looked like when you traced it. And the reason for that is your pen is going directly on the middle of the line. It's just kind of what our eyeballs do. We just immediately go through the middle of what we traced. And so I'm aiming to go on the inside of that so that it doesn't get too thick in some of the areas where I don't want it to be. So if you've noticed that yours kind of comes out looking a little bit thicker and you don't know why, try tracing on the inside. And I mentioned at the very beginning, but I'm going to say it again because there's more people on here now. If you want to try this technique that we're doing tonight with a template, I have a free template that you can download to try it out and see if you like it. And it is this one. He has good plans for me. So if you comment on Facebook, good plans, and it has to be all one word. It cannot be two words for various reasons, because then it gets sent to people if they say good or plans. So it has to be one word, good plans. But you can comment that and then it'll send you a link and you can go put in your email address and I'll email it to you. And then you can print that off and try this project on your own with everything that I'm teaching you tonight, and see. That's one of the templates that is inside the Scripted Faith Collective. So, all right. So when the letters get smaller, this particular trick that I was talking about is even more helpful because it keeps your letters from getting too squished, too close together. So we just eyeball that on the inside. Hey, Jennifer, I did not recognize your handle at first with your maiden name in there because you're not on your Canvas sign design page. But welcome to you, friends. It's good to see you tonight. I have been driving my kids around all over town, and I said that the last time I was on here. I remember saying I've just been driving my kids all over the place lately, and I'm trying to enjoy the season because I know that in a year my son is going to probably get his driver's license, and then he's going to want to just take himself everywhere, and I'm not going to have the time in the car with him. So I keep thinking about that. I'm like, okay, it'll be good and bad, because I won't have to drive around everywhere, but I will miss that time in the car with him. And I'm not a big driver. I don't like driving. Somebody said one time, it's like an icebreaker question, and they said, if you were super wealthy, what service would you hire? Would you hire a house cleaner, a chef, or a driver? And I said, a driver, because then I could just sit in the back and read or send emails or work on stuff, and I would be so nice not to have to drive. So the second that my son gets his license and we're going places, I'm going to be like, hey, you want to drive? And hopefully he'll say yes. All right, so I'm just coloring in as I go. You're going to trace. Jennifer, she says that time in the car is gold. Yes, they will talk to you in the car. You know what? I've noticed that it's much harder to have those face-to-face conversations with them, but something about being in the car, they'll just open up and talk and say things, because I guess you're not looking at each other and you're just shoulder to shoulder, and the time is really special. So I am keeping an eye on my hand here to make sure that I'm not smearing or dragging. So the lefties in the group know that I am prone to smearing things almost every time. And tonight I really don't want to, because I don't have a painted background, so I can't just go and add a little paint to cover it up. So I'm really just trying to be mindful of that. The paint pen is soaking in the ink pretty quickly. Did I say the paint pen? The wood. The wood is soaking in the paint pen pretty quickly. So I think it's drying before my hand gets over it, which is helpful. because when it stays wet, it can cause problems. But that's why we can also turn it as needed. Marisa said, I would pick that too, a chauffeur. Yeah, something about driving. You know what? It actually makes me feel sleepy a lot of times too. Like I get kind of lulled to sleep. My kids keep wanting me to take them to Tennessee to see their cousins. And we have gone as a family several times, and my husband just does mostly the whole entire way he drives. Maybe I'll drive two or 3 hours out of the 9 hours. And anyway, the kids are like, why can't you just bring us up here? I'm like, I mean, I can, but I would have to pull over on the side of the road and take several naps. I just like, I don't know, I get sleepy. So I'm jealous of those people. If you're somebody who can just get in the car and drive and power through and it's not a big deal, I'm jealous of you. Let's see. Marisa, did it send you that? I think it has to be Good Plans with an S. So test that for me and try it again and see if it'll send it to you. But you're also in the Scripted Faith Collective already, so you have that template inside. All right, it's harder for me to do it upside down because even though I'm looking at the lines, it's like I lose the shape of the letter in my head. So it feels weird to turn it upside down. This is just such a nice, like, quiet evening task that you can do if you like to have your hands busy while you're watching TV or listening to something. That's how I am. I can't stand to just sit on the couch and watch TV. I can't do it. I cannot. I've got to have my hands busy or something. I got to be doing something like folding laundry. I used to, a long time ago, I took up crocheting and I crocheted some blankets and did some things and then kind of got out of doing that. And I don't even remember how to crochet anymore. But it was just something nice to do when you're sitting. And I saw a girl at church actually on Sunday morning, just sitting in front of me. And I think she was crocheting because I think I only saw one needle, you know, like sometimes I can't tell the difference between crocheting and knitting. But she was crocheting with a gold chain. I have never seen that before. And I just was mesmerized. Like, wow, what is she making? But she was a young girl. So I thought that was so smart because sometimes some people think better and listen better when their hands are busy. I've told y'all that's why I do my sermon notes, because I listen better with a pen in my hand. And I was like, maybe she listens better with a crochet hook in her hand. I don't know. But it looked really neat. So if you're like that, then this task, you know, granted that you're not like having to look up at the TV screen and watch something, but if you're kind of doing more listening than watching, this is a good thing to do. And it's very therapeutic because it's kind of like the whole coloring trend, you know, it's just, it feels good and calming. So, okay, good. Marisa said she got it, but you can't see any of the comments. Okay, well, what do you mean by comments? Like in the, because it should send it to you in your DMs. If you are looking for the link, it'll send it to your direct messages. So I think filling in, it would be almost nicer to have the thicker Posca. I think I have it up here actually, to fill in some of these bigger areas so that we could like maybe switch it back and forth. I'll do that. I'll show you the difference. I forgot that I had brought this up here. It's like some of my other ones. So can you see? I don't know if you can see the difference in the tip sizes there. This one is obviously a lot bigger, but for some of these bigger, thicker areas, it'll go faster than having to color it all in. So if you've got both, then you can use both. But I don't want to use that big thick tip on these thinner upstrokes because you lose control over exactly where the placement is. You know, you just, I don't know, sometimes it's too thick. So what have y'all been doing this week? Now that it's the end of July, are y'all doing Christmas in July projects, or what kind of things are you working on right now? I'm trying to figure out some final curriculum things before school starts. I know really what we're going to do. I just have to finish buying everything and figuring out some of our schedule and our routine of what we're going to be doing this school year. Because it's going to look different. I'm going to have a high schooler this year. I can't even believe that. Gosh, he is... I just feel like he is like so grown up looking now. He would be so mad at me for saying that, but I'm like, oh, just like have left the little boy behind. We're all grown up. So it's going to be fun, I think, to have like high school things and but I also have to learn how to do a transcript and record the grades and all of that kind of stuff. But he's doing mostly like co-op classes and online classes this year. So the grading part will be more automatic. I won't have to go in there and do the grading myself. So that'll be good. Okay, so do you see this little outline right there? Well, I'm going to take that thicker medium, which is the 5M, and I'm going to just fill that in. It's so much faster. So much faster. So we're going to do that from now on. Make it go just a little bit easier. So if you are those of you who are in the Scripted Faith Collective, I finally got the workshop videos up there. It took me like a full week or maybe a little bit extra after the workshop was over, but I finally got them up there, and they're ready to be viewed. If you missed it, if you missed that at the end of June is when it was, you can go watch it. And I was thinking I will probably try and do those quarterly. So the next one would be in September. So I will let you know a specific date later, but probably towards the end of September is when I will try and do it. And maybe we can do a fall design, a fall project. All right, so I'm just focusing on getting these thicker areas. So Marisa, a co-op is not just for high schoolers. No, there's lots of co-ops. So it's a cooperative, and in the homeschool world, that means that it can mean a lot of different things. There's a lot of different kinds of co-ops. So some of them are parent-led. So it's a bunch of parents who have gotten together and they've decided that they're going to teach curriculum, and all the parents have a part in teaching the students, and maybe they meet once a week, maybe they meet every other week. There are some co-ops that are more fun and social based, like going and doing field trips or getting together and doing the park. And, you know, they're not as structured, but they're, again, just moms or parents bringing their kids together to do something together as homeschoolers. And the kind of co-op that we're doing is a paid co-op. So there's teachers that are paid to teach. I drop them off, and we pick certain classes. So sometimes they're fun, fluffy classes, more for like meeting people their own age and like hanging out and, you know, developing friendships, and still just kind of like doing something. Like Haven is doing volleyball, which is not really a fluffy class. That is like a recreation class, you know. Some kids will learn chess or cake baking or like how things are made, or, you know, different kinds of things. And then there's also sciences and maths and Spanish and that kind of thing. So you choose, they like give you the schedule and you choose which classes you want and pay for them, and then bring the kids. And it's a weekly thing. So it's almost like they're going to school one day a week. And every year it's different, just depending on what class we choose. But they're there with kids of all different ages. So it's not just like all 8th graders in one class. It's like a bunch of different grades together, learning together. And so that's cool, because, you know, that's like the real world anyway, is you're not divided out with people your exact age all the time. You know, you're interacting in your job with people of all different ages. And so that's kind of the idea behind it, that like, you know, you're with kids of many ages, learning how to get along with people and interact with people that are just all different ages, older, younger. So it's really cool. I really like it a lot. In fact, last year was our first year doing it, and I wondered, why have we not signed up for this before? Why did I struggle along by myself for 4 years? Because it's such a great program. So All right. So we've got all the letters done. And it looks good. And I don't know if you can tell, since this board is textured, I mean, it's like sanded a little bit, you know, to look weathered. The letters are they look kind of weathered too, without me having to do any sanding or anything. So I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up, but there's some like lines in there that kind of have like a natural wood streakiness look to them, and I really like that. So I think I'm going to stick with this. I feel like it's drying up just a little bit. I think I'm going to stick with this fine tip. I'm going to put that thicker one away, but to do all of these leaves and everything. So what I'm going to do first is just go around and make sure that any stray marks that I can still see from the tracing, that I'm just lightly going down those. To cover all of those up so that nobody will ever know that I traced it. It'll just look like, you know, I hand lettered it from scratch. All right, so let's just start here. We're going to go all the way around. This won't take very long. And trace those leaves. And what you could do if you did want to paint them, you could go ahead and still outline them and then come back and add paint over top the black. And then when the paint is dry, go over it again with the black. So I know that might seem redundant to go over it twice, but it'll be easier for you to see your lines. So, you know, with the graphite paper, it transferred so nicely, but you would end up probably painting over your lines and maybe not being able to see them. And if you're comfortable with that and you're okay with it, then you could skip that step. But if you feel like you still want that comfort of knowing where the lines are, then outline it first, then go back and do some color, and then just trace it again, just to give it that final sharp black look. So with these, you know, this was just like a little open circle. See how the circles on the template are open? So you could leave them open or you could color them in. Oh, the decisions to make. It's like, And you could always add more too. If you want more embellishments, you just take the shapes and ideas that I've given you here, and then you could do even more and continue filling it up all the way to the edge, which I think that would look really cool too. All right. I love these little, I don't even know what you call them. When you have 3 of those little doodad shapes, teardrop shapes. I just think they look so nice together. It brings a nice emphasis sometimes to your letters and everything. Let's see. what other kinds of projects would y'all like to see in the future? Does anybody have any thoughts? I'm kind of putting myself on the spot by asking that, but I'm curious what other kinds of things you would like to see. I really honestly cannot wait to start doing fall stuff. My son was like, okay, I guess we can take all the 4th of July stuff down now. And I was like, yeah, we can. And he said, what's next? Because he knows that I love, putting up seasonal things. And I was like, well, I mean, nothing probably for now, but I'll get some fall stuff out soon. He was like, oh yeah, I love the fall stuff. So like, me too. That's one of my favorites, but I put mine out probably in September so that I can have it for a few months before we start Christmas, because Christmas goes up early for me. All right, so you see the little teardrops right here, how they just like nice, and they're like nice and nestled in there in that little space. Isn't that nice? So again, this design is so fun and just different from some of the normal designs that I have done and that you would see. So it's, I think, kind of eye-catching. Almost done. Get our little curly cues in there. Our leaves. All right, and so you can look and see, which I do like some of these circles being colored in completely. I don't want to do all of them though, so I'm going to kind of pick that balanced out so that some of them are. What do we think? It's done. It's done. I mean, I could keep going, but I'll stop. Like, we could keep adding more and more all the way to the edge, but that I wanted to keep it simple for you so that you could see how easy it is to trace something. And it didn't take very long at all. So I'm just going to smooth this line out right here. Yeah. Everything else looks pretty smooth. The lines are covered up. So let's see. Let me look at your suggestions for what we could do next as far as project goes. But that is a simple, easy way to use the template. So if you downloaded the good plans and you wanted to try it out, follow this method and see what you think. And then send me a message and let me know what you thought. And if you felt like it was an easy thing to do and if you are happy with the results. So it just is such a nice, easy, effortless way to create a hand lettered sign. And you could give it to a friend, or you could hang it up in your house, or you could even sell it. I'm sure somebody would love to buy something that you have made. Okay, so let me look at your suggestions. Doris, okay, y'all are talking about 4 template designs. So a baby designs. Congratulations on your 10th great grandbaby coming soon. That is so exciting. Oh my goodness, you're like reached double digits. That's awesome. So yes, baby stuff, summery things, flowers, bees, picnic baskets on a throw. That would be so cute. Yes. I love those ideas. Flowers and leaves. Oh, sorry, Tanya. She says the flowers and leaves would be really pretty colored in. Yes, I agree. I think they would. And you might just see that I end up doing that. I might add that in myself. Awesome, Sherry. Sherry says she just subscribed. Thank you so much. I'm excited for you. You're going to love it. You're going to have so much fun doing this. Let me see if I had any other comments that I missed while I was looking down. So again, I love to do all different kinds of things. This, I wanted to keep it really simple for you. We've done things in the past that have been much more intricate. Some of the signs like are more colorful, like this one that we did with the colorful background. So what kinds of projects would you like to see? Do you like the colorful stuff with the paint? Or is that a little bit more intimidating? Because I want to show you different things, but I also don't want you to feel intimidated. So I want there to be things that you feel like you could try. So more color and paint, or do you prefer more of the neutral, black and white, or neutral colors? Of course, we've done chalkboards and things like that before. So I'd love to know your thoughts and preferences on things like that too, as we do more of this. I'm working on gathering up some of the live projects that we've done and putting them in a special part of the collective that's called projects. And so when you join, you would be able to go directly there and have a supply list, and then the video that shows you how to do it, just like what we did tonight, step by step, and then the template, so that you can, like, if you like want to do something but you don't really know what you want to do, you could just go to the project area, look at some examples, and do it. So that's what I'm working on building out next. That's going to take me maybe a month or so to like really go through the videos and figure out like what would be good to put in there. But that's the plan. That's the plan. So you can wait, you can look for that coming soon. So let's see. Ombre background. I love an ombre background, and I agree with you that it is hard sometimes to mix the colors together to blend them nicely. So that would be something that would be really fun to work on together and try that. I'll remember that. Jackie says she likes the variety. Jackie's over on YouTube. Hey, Jackie. Thank you. So yes, I like variety too, because it gives everybody a little something that they enjoy. Hey, Linda, don't worry. You can definitely watch the replay. And yeah, we're done. So that was the project. And here, I will hold it up for you. So here it is. That's the finished project. So it looks fun. Sometimes it's just nice to see it like up and back a little bit. So I got to go find a place to put that. I will find it and I will let you know where it ends up. But again, this was a sign that came from Hobby Lobby, and I probably will do something on the back at some point, and then we'll have a versatile sign that we can turn around maybe for fall or Christmas. So, all right. Well, thank y'all for being here tonight. I enjoyed hanging out with you for a little while, and I will see you next week. Once school starts, I will pick a definite time that I'm going to go live consistently and try and stick to that once our life kind of gets more of a routine to it. So thank y'all for joining me, and I will see you next time.